In this video, I'm going to teach you 3 disruptive marketing strategies that MrBeast used to generate over $500 million. So you probably already realized why MrBeast's $500 million net worth wasn't just from YouTube, but rather was from using his marketing tactics that after studying thousands of hours of MrBeast content, podcasts, and creator journey, I've ripped out into what I've named the quantity to quality blueprint, the viewer's vision theory, and the media shift principle. But by now, your brain is probably asking, who's this random woman to be teaching me about marketing? Well, that can be answered by me saying, hey guys, I'm Marley Jaxx. I have 8 years and 7 figures of marketing experience that have earned me 3 of these ClickFunnels awards that entrepreneurs only receive every time they make another $1 million with their business. So now that you're sure your professor actually has her merits, let's begin class with this notion of how everyone always says on YouTube, oh, it's either quality or quantity. Well, all those people think like this because they don't understand the quantity quality blueprint, or for short, the QQB. That once you begin using will allow you to create both marketing and content that's somehow both quantity and quality, which is best illustrated with MrBeast's, back then quite weird, but now we see it in hindsight, perfectly rational creator journey. Because initially, Jimmy pumped out tons of quantity content at first, and to be honest, it wasn't the greatest quality. But as he pumped the quantity, he began to learn aspects of the content creation process that overall led to higher quality, but that led him to posting around once a month back in 2021, 2022, dropping his quantity. But now with that low quantity, he was able to, here's the key, systematize his content production as well as gain skills on how to outsource and scale his team, which leads to now where his content is significantly better than before, while now posting basically weekly.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Let's end it with an explosion.
Ooh. So for you guys who most likely have an online business, realize that yes, be careful with burnout, but initially pump out quantity in your marketing angles and YouTube content, although it may be slightly lower quality. But as you pump this lower quality quantity, deeply focus on learning all the aspects of the production process and write down step by step what you're doing so that you can build proper content systems where eventually you can get a team. I would say for YouTube, mostly focusing on outsourcing the most time-consuming parts with editing number 1, thumbnails number 2, and then scripting number 3. Where now like MrBeast and I do, you can both use the quantity and quality blueprint to create both beautiful quality while simultaneously keeping up with your fans' quantity demands. But even though you now have the system to do both quantity and quality content, all of this does not matter at all if you don't understand how to target the proper audience by understanding the basics like what they're thinking. But what if you were literally able to read your audience's mind to understand exactly the type of content they wanted, frame by frame, word for word, and edit by edit? Where if you could just see right through your ideal customer's brain how much money you could make by putting exactly the type of content that they would want to watch. Well, you should join my program Chief Content Officer where I'll help you with that every single month. But in the meantime, that's precisely what the viewer's vision theory allows you to do, which is best seen with this quote from MrBeast, where often he says his audience is everyone, that he has no niche. But he's so genius that he's actually accidentally lying to you. Here's what I mean by this. Think of, let's say, George, a male 16-year-old. When he first goes on YouTube, he gets recommended MrBeast. Now up to this point, MrBeast isn't lying since his content is such a wide TAM or total addressable market. George clicks on a MrBeast video and watches it all the way through. Then he watches through, let's say, 5 other broad targeting entertainment channels like Eric or Matthew Beam, The Sidemen, etc. But now remember, George is 16 and male, and what do 16-year-old male kids do? They're typically now at the stage where they want to improve themselves. So he goes, oh shoot, I shouldn't be watching MrBeast, so then he flies down an educational self-help content rabbit hole, which leads to us being able to see a very key aspect for you guys who want to steal MrBeast's genius marketing here. It being how George's story here told us exactly how we can now realize through George's viewer vision, we can see a chronological pattern that viewers tend to consume content based on the vibe they're in. Where now we can realize MrBeast, yes, his audience is everyone, but at the real tippy top of the funnel of viewers when they initially come right onto YouTube, but after an hour or two, looking back at George's example, George isn't in MrBeast's audience in that moment anymore. So why is this viewer's vision theory so important for you guys to understand? Is because now you can take this hack and apply it right into your content. Understand not just which niche your audience is in, but what chronological vibe is your viewer in? Maybe you guys are podcast creators. Then most likely your viewers will watch you late at night to fall asleep or while they're driving on the way somewhere. With coaches who create content to sell your audience into your program, maybe your viewers would watch you towards 3 to 5 p.m. or more precisely the latter end of their 9 to 5 jobs, because at that point in the day, they hate their boss the most. Now, understanding this, create your videos, and even if you guys run paid ads, create your paid ads creatives in that way. Seeing your viewers holistically through the viewer vision theory, hence being able to switch your messaging according to the chronological vibe you want to hit your audience in, potentially allowing you to print bajillions of dollars. But even though now you understand how to use the QQB to get to creating consistent quality content, consistently cruising along because you have an incredible team, and you get how to see right through your viewers' eyes to speak right into their mind, to keep them watching longer, or if you have products to sell them, to make potential bajillions by matching your messaging perfectly to what they're feeling at that moment, which both concepts lead to getting tons of views for you, you now don't know how to monetize all this attention that you're getting. But once you grasp the media shift principle, mentally, you'll be way more chilled out, not needing to stress about if your content is making money, while ironically, the lower effort could lead to more payment processor notifications coming through to your phone. So in order to get this way of life, you must hear this fascinating thing MrBeast said in a podcast, where he said these days, he literally can't sell a sponsor's post anymore, because each of his videos get more views than the Super Bowl. This is why he had to go and make his own company, Feastables, in order for the profit to cost ratio for this literally upwards now $4 million video cost can be justified. But there's a very specific principle here that we can steal. That for MrBeast has accidentally discovered it and hasn't actively told anyone about this yet, but I was able to dissect his business and really get to the single key of all of his success. So to explain it, get this. Usually most businesses, especially if you guys run a coaching or consulting business, you guys often try to create a bit of content, a bit of ads, and look for the instant gratification, for the money and the leads to fly to your doorstep right away. But compare that to the way that the new model of business MrBeast accidentally found out. But it makes total sense when you think of businesses overall from a first principles perspective. At the core of business, all it is an exchange of value. If customers get more than they pay, they're happy to pay as much as you want them to. Hence, what MrBeast did was so ingenious here was begin with giving first by seeing himself as a media company. But rather than a traditional media company, let's say movie studios that charge for you guys to watch their movies, MrBeast just gave free movie after free movie until he had an audience that gave so much to that now, when he launched his actual business, hidden as a media company, Feastables, it shot his net worth from around 120 million into 2 years, 500 million. So for you guys, apply the same mentality of seeing your businesses as a media company first, so that your media is top notch, which inherently will give your customers free movie after free movie of value. To eventually where you ask them to buy, let's say you sell an info product, they will with no doubt be happy to pay you for all the value that you've given them. Hence why now, although you understanding the quantity and quality blueprint to make tons of high quality content, seeing your content creation from your viewers' eyes to create the best content for them through the viewer vision theory, and finally using the views that you'll then get from both of those concepts to monetize them by having a media shift in the view of your company, MrBeast still isn't the best person to learn another aspect of marketing that us high-level marketers called absurdity antics that lead to people like Elon Musk being able to amass a crazy $256 billion net worth, where if you truly grasp how to move the seas of humans through smoking weed, walking around with sinks, telling people to go f themselves, that's when you'll genuinely be able to make the big bucks. So all those stories and concepts I break down right here in this video about Mr. Musk. I'll catch you there in a few seconds.